Civilization, humanity has yearned to move faster, reach further. It began with a single step, marking our first journey into the unknown. From horse hooves thundering across plains, we learned to harness nature's power. To ships crossing vast oceans, connecting worlds that seem forever apart. Steel and steam forged our path forward, machinery breathing life into our dreams. Until railways united nations, iron horses racing toward tomorrow. Then our minds took flight, breaking free from physical bounds. Through mathematics, through science, unlocking the universe's deepest secrets, into digital realms and artificial minds where imagination knows no limits. This is our journey from earthbound dreamers to creators of new worlds. This is Flux, for the people, by the people.
We are live. Davey, how the hell are you, brother?
Good morning. I'm doing good.
Me too, man. I'm pumped. This is a good day today. I always look forward to these AMAs, Gets my blood pumping. I don't know how you can't love those intros, man. Like you just get jazzed. I need to put that on loop in the background while I'm working. Really get me fired up. You know what I mean?
The beatboxing one.
Yeah, that too. So, well,
hang on. Let's beatbox 1 sec.
That's the new commercial, guys, the one that we're going to be using to run on TV and other places. So, and that's dubstep, Davey, not beatbox. Dubstep.
Oh, come on.
Come on,
it's not
man.
Even dubstep. They're
well,
beatboxing.
It's kind of, sort of. I don't know. Beatboxing is like, like that thing.
That's how I see the guy do it, actually.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that could be. Welcome, everybody, to Flux AMA. We're a little goofy this morning. We're super pumped. We've had a really awesome several weeks as we continue to keep building out and delivering massive projects for you guys, products across the board. Couple housekeeping items before we get started. If you could do me a rock solid, there's a lot of people in here. Like, share, and retweet. So if you're watching YouTube, like it and share it. If you're on X watching the feed, and we got a ton of people over there already, please retweet the space so we can get far and wide, Davey. We'll get the reach out there. Enter the flux. Let the flux enter you. Oh, that didn't sound good. Anyway, so if everybody can take a couple minutes and do that, big shout out to the team. I'm going to start that off by acknowledging all of the gals that are working their butts off over there. We have had some of the most productive meetings I think I've ever had in the history of the product in the past month and a half. And we've had rather large conversations in the month and a half, which helps. And thank you for the support for the community. That was, we know it's a big change for Flux with the fork. We had a resounding yes pass for that. I abstained, so I stayed out of it. I let the community vote on that. I didn't use any of my sway in my nodes to vote on that, but it passed within, I think, 24 hours, less than that. I mean, it was pretty much done. So congratulations to the community for jumping on that, being engaged, asking questions. We got some of the best questions from the community over the past couple weeks, specifically around the future of Flux, where it's going. What do enterprise systems look like? What do the retail systems look like? So people are asking the right questions. So we're hoping today what we can do is clarify some of those points for you. I'll jump off script from time to time, as I normally do, and I'll chat about different stuff today. So without further ado, Davey, let's roll that PowerPoint and get going.
There you go.
So today we're going to actually have an old school AMA style. So if you have questions that pop up as we're moving through this, just post them in chat. We'll grab them. We'll put a bunch at the end and we'll start rolling through them. We don't have any major stuff going on today in terms of like where I have to talk forever. So we're hoping this is about an hour long. We want to make sure that we answer you all's questions to make sure that you guys are happy with where we're at and what we're doing. So XDAO vote, update on fork. As your guys are aware, it was a resounding yes to move to 100% proof of use and work. It makes sense. We had 50% of our network not doing useful work, but rather mining and transactional validation consensus mechanism. We realized for us to get to the next level, we have to have the entire ecosystem running proof of use and work. With that, we put together the white paper for V2. It was a resounding success in terms of input. I know the miners are a little upset, and we're hoping that we'll be able to do some things to help the miners as well, because make no mistake, I'm a GPU miner at heart. It's what it's about. But for us to get Flux to the next level, we had to acknowledge there's better technologies that we can build ourselves than rather capitalizing on other platforms. We accomplished what we wanted to accomplish, and that was 8 years of total decentralization, ASIC resistance. People mined and ran nodes and entered positions. We're a very diversified project from a utility asset standpoint. We are the king of utility assets, so we're in a super good spot right now to move into the future. So, but I didn't forget my miners. We're going to talk a little bit about heat later today. That's a project that we're working on, one of our skunk work projects with Thermi and their team, basically to help usher in the new version of mining. So mining doesn't go away; it just morphs. And Flux was the first one to acknowledge that if we want mining to remain viable, we have to interface it with proof of use work. So this is the first big step for any mineable project out there, really any project out there. I mean, there's projects that have started, proof of work, and then they move to proof of stake, garbage, right? That's not what we're doing with our proof of use of work. It's a completely different world. So, I think we're in a pretty good spot. I think this new technology that we're bringing is going to be a game changer. So in July, we had a significant vote to introduce an adjusted version of proof of use of work, transitioning GPU mining-based consensus to a deterministic node basis consensus. Additionally, the vote established a 10% reduction in annual Flux block emissions. So one of the big bitches I had about GPU mining was the emission schedules and the halving schedules. Flux was a 2.5-year halving schedule. We needed to do that for the first several years to get as much flux in circulation as possible, and we did a really good job with that. But moving forward, we feel like a more uniform reduction model that's hard coded in and basically allows you to become a deflationary asset. So as that emissions trickles down on a regular basis rather than a 4-year cycle or 2.5-year cycle, it's more enticing for people who are running the infrastructure. They're not going to see this massive halving hit. So there will be, and I know people are out there thinking about it now, there will be a collateral adjustment at some point in the future. We don't know what that looks like. We're going to see what happens on the other side of the fork. That could happen sooner than later, depending on the announcements we have in the future. One major player in the space can take up 100% of the Flux network. One major player. So you got to think about that. So we have to scale this thing. And that's why proof of use work V2 is so important. From the mining standpoint, it allows miners to participate, mine the assets that they'd like. If they're using Flux Core, they get a portion of the block reward. So 1% of the block reward was allocated to basically our miners as well who are using Flux Core. And they'll be able to, in Flux Core, mine whatever asset they like, make a little flux, and be available for proof of use work. So we're going from one revenue generation model, which is straight mining across the board, to 3 revenue generation models to help mining move into the future. So open source based Flux Core, anyone can run it, anybody can utilize it. And I highly recommend, if you haven't tried it yet, download it, get your gear set up, because in less than a month and a half, we're going to be kicking ass and taking some names specifically around the mining side of the house. So overall, the XDAO vote, my wife is blowing up my... Sorry,
Dan, can
guys.
you make sure you bring stuff from the grocery store in an hour?
Yeah, she's like, and she never does it in one text. It's like 13 sequential ding, 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 ding. And then if I don't answer, it's yo, hey, yo, ding, 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 ding. And I'm like, oh my God. But you know how it is when the wife texts, you got to answer, right? So
no way around that.
Real proud of the community and the input that they have been providing. You know, we wouldn't be where we are today without the community and the diehard supporters that are behind the Flux project. So we are headed to version 2.0 for proof of use of work. We'll talk a little bit about that in the future. Our ArcaneOS updates, we currently upgraded to Plucky Thin 25.04 with Python 3.13. I don't know what any of that means. I just know it's cool. They tell me it's cool, and I believe them. Enhanced Flux integration, latest Flux D Daemon version 8, improved connectivity, added fallback DNS for Cloudflare, Google, and Quad 9, which is a big deal. Flexible networking. So gateway and DNS are now optional on network interfaces for a much better multi interface support. I don't know what that is, but it sounds important. Better UX, timeout protection for transaction ID fetching, improved GUI experience during network issues, and smarter installation. So, you know, I actually was on a space yesterday and people talked about the simplicity of setting up their nodes. Some people were challenged with it. I think ArcaneOS especially is going to help kind of solidify that ease of use. If you haven't upgraded to Arcane, you should do it soon. And I'll tell you why. Post fork, at some point we're going to require ArcaneOS across the board. I don't know when that's going to happen, so don't freak out. We're not going to kick your nodes without tons of input, but we will have to hard enforce ArcaneOS for our enterprise customers probably sometime after the fork. So if you're out there and you're keeping track, this is something you want to keep an eye on as we move forward. We fixed freezing issues on the Cumulus node under heavy load by optimizing swap encryption, now single encryption instead of double encryption. So basically, we eliminated some bugs in there as well. Arcane is legit, guys. If you haven't checked it out, go check it out. Arcane is a game changer. There's no I'm going to make a bold statement. There is no blockchain project in the space that's doing what we're doing at this level with this utilization. None. Zero. Nada.
That makes it secure as it is.
And secure as it is, right?
Because we are using Docker technology, and if you're participating in a project that uses Docker for their edge compute or whatever they're doing, do know it is not secure. So with Arcane, it is secure because there's encryption. We actually had to tune it down a little bit for the Cumulus nodes, but you know, with all the encryption that we put in place, with the way the secure boot works and all that fun stuff, we get a environment that we can basically get compliance for. So yeah, good stuff.
Hey, they said it's hard to hear you, buddy. Just FYI.
Can you hear me perfectly fine?
You notice they never say that about me. Why is that? Am I a loud person?
You're just yelling, I guess.
I'm a yelly. Well, my wife would agree with that, so no doubt about that. Yeah, so ArcaneOS is a game changer, and that really has set us up in a real good position for enterprise customers as well. You know, somebody's running a game server where they deploy it and they don't really care about the encryption and security. Old school way is fine, but moving forward, ArcaneOS is going to be a requirement. We didn't move away from proof of work for any reason. The proof of use of work folks are going to have even more criteria that they're going to have to meet, and that's just factually. So if you want to play the game, you got to make sure you have the gear to do so. All right, Zelcore updates. I don't know if you guys have been watching Zelcore, but damn, it has just been rocking it with updates. So SUI was listed with a SUI USD pair. Update V8.19.0 was released. It integrated Flux GPT. If you haven't seen that yet, that's cool as shit. And by the way, I'm going to throw this out here. Zelcore will actually probably be the native client for Flux AI. So at some point, we're working on a user interface change that's going to make it a lot more simplistic to use and a lot more modern in terms of its. We wanted to make sure our product's solid, then we work on the modernization or the pretty looks, and we're going to get that. But I totally see where there is absolutely going to be Flux AI is that kind of utilizing Zelcore as its native app.
It's becoming a hub. It's literally what we always.
It's exactly it's exactly what we wanted to do with it from the beginning. People. We have SSP, which is for the node operators, and I call it, cold storage, so to speak, or warm storage. True two-factor authentication. So if you haven't used SSP, it's a game changer. To send transactions, you have to actually validate it on your cell phone, which is awesome. So layers another layer of protection. Should your private key be compromised, you have another way to do that. You're going to know if somebody's trying to mess with your stuff. Could we do that to Zelcore in the future? Maybe. I think the biggest thing right now is for people to transition to the 24 seed phrase. We're seeing a lot of breaches of the username and password combination, not because of anything more than people do not practice safe hygiene with their crypto. The username and password combination put together is your private key. So if you're using the same username and password on other products and they're breached, the first thing they're going to do is sell that list and attempt to brute force they wouldn't even have to brute force it. They'll have your username and password. So we're seeing a lot of, there's a Discord I saw with my own eyes of, scammers that essentially that's their whole job, is that they look for opportunities to scam people. And, you see a lot of these pop-ups where you ask a question, hey, we're from support, we'll help you out. Give me your username and password, I'll jump in there. It's hygiene. Self-custody is hard. Trunk says 99% of people shouldn't self-custody their assets. I think his numbers are a little high. But you got to be aware that there is a risk that comes with this. You can't just use a username and password that you popped up. It has your name in it. It has your information in it. We've seen coordinated attacks where they even, I can tell you right now, I had a breach 6 months ago or so on a hot wallet that I've used for the past 8 years. It's not much Flux, and it just used it for random stuff. And it was the very first wallet I ever set up with Zelcore, and I used a shitty setup because it was a test account, but I wanted to see how long it would go like that. It was a combination of things you could easily figure out, right? So it took 8 years to breach it, but they got it, right? So congratulations to whoever got that little bit of Flux. But the bottom line is this: if even I can be breached, and I'm very educated, I know how to handle my crypto, so on and so forth. I was lazy, and that's what it came down to. Thank God they only got a small amount of Flux, like less than 5,000 Flux. But bottom line is it was worth it for me to see how long it would take for them to compromise, but they did compromise eventually. So 8 years, and the original wallet that I set up was compromised. So you got to think about that. So moving your crypto over to the 24-word seed phrase scenario, it's not gonna, if you're not doing good practices behind that, like backing up your private key, putting it somewhere nobody else can get to it. Don't write your private key down and leave it under your keyboard. Like, just do smart shit, people. Like, if you store your crypto effectively, right, you don't have to worry about these things. And, I can honestly tell you that I learned a lot of lessons in the early years of crypto. And as a matter of fact, I lost a wallet that had the better part of 135 Bitcoin. Dumb. Because the practices that and honestly, that's why Zelcore was born, is we knew there had to be a better way to maintain, because I was using like an old school wallet and, ended up taking a hard drive out of a computer. I set it on my desk like a dumbass. And this is when Bitcoin was like, I don't know, let's say $35 or something like that. Not a big deal. Set it on my desk, and I happened to recycle some hard drives. And guess what? Homie threw it away. So we're down 135 Bitcoin out of the circulating supply. But what did I learn with that? I learned how to take care of my private keys. I learned how to shard my private information. So my private key itself is sharded into about, 5 or 6 different pieces, and it's distributed so that nobody would be able to breach that unless they actually have that combined seed phrase. So, bottom line is, guys, is good maintenance and taking care of yourself and taking care of your assets is super fucking important.
I want to quickly highlight some unsung heroes in all of this as well. Of course, the guys from the Zelcore team trying everything they can, audits, all the fun stuff there. But also the moderators on the Discord and on Telegram trying to keep the house clean as much as they can. It's an ongoing battle with all the scammers hopping in. They're finding all sorts of ways to get around all the things that we put in place. So thanks to all the moderators and all the folks in the community who noticed that there's a scammer and basically highlight the guy. And again, and we'll reiterate it here, if nobody from the team will ever DM you, and if somebody does ask questions, ask in general, hey, are you actually DMing me? What is this? Be secure, be safe in your communications. So yeah.
Thanks, Ghosty.
Dan, don't look at that number.
I need to see that shit.
Don't look at that number. So
yeah.
But
well,
I do want to celebrate the mods for the work they do. It's
oh my god,
it's an ongoing battle.
The mods are the unsung heroes of this entire project. Those guys work relentlessly and gals relentlessly and tirelessly to help our community, and I thank God for every one of them, because without them, we're one of the longest living crypto projects, guys, and we are that way for a reason, because our community's rock solid, and that's something that can't be said for a lot of these projects out there. So I thank my mods, our mods, especially for that.
All right.
So the next big thing we're going to talk about is the release of the Flux AI agents. If you haven't looked into Flux AI agents yet, this is a game changer, guys. All the paranoid people that are like, "Oh, Flux or AI is going to take everybody's jobs." Well, kinda, and I'm seeing it now with the Flux AI agents. I had an opportunity to play with some the other day, and my God, it's terrifying. It's amazing, but terrifying. And we're actually, when we're meeting with our clients on the Influx side that are going to deploy, they're blown away about not the manpower reduction, but the revenue increases. So when we've started giving presentations and talking to people about the benefits of AI agents, we're not necessarily looking at the workforce reduction. Rather, what we're looking at is the opportunity for revenue generation outside of that, and to retool their current employment structure. And maybe they can get an AI agent that takes, an hour away off of somebody's work that they can do something else. So repurposing that allows, small to mid-tier companies to really traverse very quickly and actually save them a lot of money.
Startups too.
Startups as well.
Yep.
We're already seeing a bunch of startups that are utilizing, Flux AI for their platform. Cheaper, better, faster, stronger, decentralized, man. So it's like, in the end, it's a no-brainer.
Think about it. You have to do a market analysis. Are you you can hire somebody, he'll do his job, but then he'll be focused on one segment of the market or a couple segments. You can hire that guy and then deploy some Flux AI agents next to it, and now you have an army attacking a market analysis that all filter and feed back to the guy managing it. Now his time is more focused on managing the agents and collecting the data that the agents create versus doing the legwork himself. So the efficiency gain you get with agents, and just think about in your day-to-day what you can do to help yourself. I did my expenses the other day with an agent, I basically feed my statements to the agent, and it does its job. Those are the things you can do with agents without you having to go through all of the fun stuff.
Yeah, and they kind of freak me out a little, but I know it's definitely something that needs to happen. AI has always got me a little concerned, especially when I see it from the inside. One of the things we're going to do coming up is we're going to do another AMA, and we're going to bring Daz on, who is our CEO for Flux AI. And he can walk you guys through this, but we start getting into talking about agentic AI as well, which right, the meme where the guys right, crazy stuff coming. So we're positioned perfectly because we're not one of the evil empires that's collecting everybody's data. And as a matter of fact, the majority of the folks, especially in healthcare, and Davey can testify to this because he's one of the healthcare leads, almost all of them want a hybrid solution where they want it on-prem, so they have their own data. They maintain their own data. There's no training models used, so you have an on-prem that ties into Flux AI across the board. And that allows people to actually harvest and utilize their own data without having to give that back to the evil empire, which is a game changer. And most of the folks, when we ask them, what's your biggest concern? It's data loss protection, DLP. So you really have three forms of DLP. You have data at rest, data in motion, and what the hell is the other one? It's data in rest, data in motion, and long-term storage, right? So we've put a lot of emphasis around addressing those problems and actually turning their problem into a benefit. And as a matter of fact, Daz and I gave a presentation to a company, and one of the first things we did was this is how much money you can make with Flux AI. We didn't talk about the expense. We didn't talk about workforce reduction. What we did is said, if you have 50 employees and you can chop an hour off of every one of these, this is additional production time you have at your current level, but you also turn this into a revenue center. So it does change things. And once people understand that, they're really excited. And like I said, we have some big stuff coming up down the road. Okay, so that's a little bit about the Flux AI agents. So the advantages: speed, bigger, faster, stronger, cheaper, decentralized. So speed keeps everything instantly events, keeps your workflows agile and responsive. Cost savings up to 80% compared to hiring routine tasks, freeing up the budget and strategic priorities. Accuracy reduces errors with AI agents designed for precision and reliability. Flexibility connects effortlessly to your customer management records, CRM, your finance tools, and more unified operational systems. And of course, security. And this is a big one for anybody that's dabbling their foot into the AI world. Deploy in your cloud or a cloud on premises to ensure complete control over sensitive data. You're going to see government entities utilizing this. You're going to see healthcare entities utilizing this, and financial institutions that are utilizing this. So very good stuff coming up. Fusion X beta release. If you haven't checked out Fusion X, check it out. The beta was released for the swap aggregator in July. It enables traders to route proposed swaps through multiple DEXs for deeper liquidity and cheaper exchange fees. One of our commitments to that is to continue to keep focusing on small cap assets. And I have in our partnership announcements, we'll talk about that a little bit. But what we've started to do is partner with other aggregators to really bring everything into one central location in a decentralized manner. I know that sounds crazy, but you're going to be able to use DEXs. You'll be able to use, SEXs, CEXs. You're going to be able to use all, right now it supports Zelcore, SSP, Wallet Connect, MetaMask. And what we're trying to do is get everything into one kind of like central location to get you the best cost. I mean, I don't know if you used it, but we compare fees from wherever you're buying or wherever you're selling to make sure you keep the most of your numero uno, so your dollars. SSP Wallet Connect support. So SSP integrated Wallet Connect in July for increased secure logins. We're going to keep adding where it makes sense. The next question people are going to ask is when is mobile going to come? We don't have any short-term push for mobile. We need to make sure that all the bugs are worked out on desktop. And once we have that, then we're going to start moving to a more mobile setup as well. There's complexities with the utilization of the mobile that we'll have to get through. but we have a plan, and we'll eventually get it for mobile as well. I think you'll definitely see a push to utilize it not as a native application, but rather as a website-based application to keep it available for everybody. You don't have to download an app to buy some Bitcoin. You just have to have your wallet address, and that's it. So it just makes it a lot more simplistic, especially for the next batch of newbies that are starting to come online. So we do have a few partnerships. None of these are earth-shaking, but they're important. We partnered with Change Hero, a non-custodial instant exchange. Change Hero has also listed Flux main chain as a tradable asset, so you can in Fusion X and inside of Zelcore, inside of SSP, you'll be able to buy Flux any way you want there. Change Hero is they're a good group of guys and gals, and they're one of the ones, along with Simple Swap, that's going to help us with some of these micro assets. So these mineable coins that are coming online, or small cap coins. Our goal is not to be a Coinbase and list shit for the sake of listing shit. We want real use cases, and we want projects that are actually building and developing. So, you know, I'd love to see someday us be a direct competitor to Coinbase. It's going to take a while to get there, but we got the infrastructure to make it happen, which is balling. We also have partnered with Timpi as part of the Timpi and Influx partnership. Timpi, Saptron, and collectors nodes went live on Flux Cloud. Snaptron. Is that how it's you say it, David?
Yeah, Synaptron.
Synaptron.
You got it.
Okay. Synaptron. Oh, there we go. Okay. Took me a minute. I had to get those synapses firing. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So the big thing that we want to talk about today is the roadmap. We have a pretty lengthy roadmap coming up over the next several months. Obviously, Flux Core auto updates is going to be a big thing. Our Flux Core watchdog and overclocking, our machine failover for outages. We're working and concentrating on Flux Core because this is the next version of where mining moves to. Okay, so if you're using HiveOS or you're using Simple Mining and you're paying rig fees, why? Use Flux Core and be incentivized and paid for your compute resources. You are no longer the product. You are now actually part of the business. So it only makes sense for miners to get this prepped and ready to go. You're moving from one revenue possibility to 3 revenue possibilities. So you got whatever native asset you're mining. So say I'm mining heat, which will be a GPU mineable asset, and I'm also going through Flux Core. I'm receiving a block reward, and I'm also available for proof of use of work. And if you want to take it even step further for the 4th one, I am now no longer paying for my operating system, which, by the way, I was a Hive guy for years. Dude, I paid a lot of money for mining over the years. You know what I mean? If we would have had Flux Core like 7 years ago, it would have been amazing, but we have it now. Like on Step Brothers. Even better, we have it now, right? I don't have the night goggles, but it's even better we have it now. So lots of concentration on edge and core as we move forward. Private clusters, machine agnostic deployments, and adaptive pricing. So adaptive pricing is important because as demand increases, we need to make sure we adjust those that in a sliding scale. The more demand, the higher the price. The less demand, the lower the price. So essentially, we're capitalizing on our miners that are using their proof of work GPUs for proof of use of work, and it kind of works out quite nice like that.
The agnostic one is also an important one because basically you're not going to be as focused on picking a machine. You're going to just focus on deploying, and then the network will pick a machine basically. So that's kind of what that means.
Yeah.
And Alex will correct me if I'm wrong. So.
Yeah, he will. Echo Wallet, and I don't know if everybody knows this, but we do own the Echo Wallet. So if you haven't checked it out, check it out. It's nice for the KDA ecosystem. We have a pretty deep partnership with Kadena, and one of the things, our commitments was to develop this out for the platform, and I think we've done a really good job for that. However, we got stuff to improve. So we're going to work on mobile analytics. We're going to do transition to more powerful Kadena indexer for transaction history and balances. That is a challenge with Kadena if anybody hasn't used that network. And that is a nice fix for that as well. NFTs will be available. Chrome integration, so direct functionality for match that will match your mobile implementation, the NFT section for Chrome extensions, documentation update with whatever the fuck that is, Docusaurus,
yeah.
I don't even know what that is, but it has a cool name. Update our terms of service, private and privacy policies, expand Kadena widget with the Echo Wallet information, and integrate Bring Network. So we've got a lot going on in that Echo Wallet ecosystem as well. That is all of the presentation. So now we're going to get to the fun part, which is the AMA. Nothing is off the board. If you have a question, you can ask whatever it is. And we'll answer it. Now, let's try to keep it into Flux. I'm not giving you the dirty details of my awesome personal life. But if it's Flux...
Did you answer the misses at least already at this point?
Oh, I did. I answered her, dude. You have to. You have to. Otherwise, I would have had dinging for the next 45 minutes. So we're just going to kind of... If you have questions, please post them now. If you're on X, can the X questions post in here as well?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Anybody can ask questions. Twitch, X, YouTube, feel free.
Oh, they're coming in now. Hold on. How is it possible that a Web3 platform relies on centralized third-party proprietary services as the only option for such an important function, which can affect an entire network one day?
Oh, he's talking about the benchmarking when we do a speed test.
Well, we pull benchmarking for several different areas, and we're not dependent on third parties. We have an internal piece that we use as well. It's like everything else, man. Everything's iterative in this process. And I mean, 6 months ago we were a straight proof of work product, and now we're moving into an entirely different environment. I tell Davey can attest to this. Innovate or die is what I say. So you need to always be innovating. And good point. Glad you brought it up. And it's something I think in the long term that will probably.
I think I even brought this. Yeah, I think I even brought this thing up 2 years ago. The question, and you have to ask yourself at the same time, is: do we spend the time to create every single little piece ourselves, or do you sometimes just sacrifice a couple pieces, get things rolling, and then look and see if there's a need for it to develop it yourself? We have seen sometimes an issue with what are they called again? The speed guys. I use it all the time. I test my internet.
Oka data, or whatever.
Yeah,
it is. Yeah.
Like I get your point, but it does not take down your servers if there's you can have a couple errors like this. And we can patch it at any given time too. With Arcane, by the way, that goes a lot easier now to do as well. So I get your concern, but if that's the pinpoint where you're gonna call us a centralized project on, then I think you don't get the full picture.
No, I don't think he was saying that. I think what he was saying is, as it grows out, how do we rely on centralized entities?
And like I said, there's we pick priorities, right? So priority was getting the actual network properly secure, properly up and running, which is happening as we are now. So, and at any given time, we can start improving on all the other things.
Yeah, and bottom line is some things just have to be recreated. I mean, it doesn't always transition from Web 2 to Web 3. I mean, you have to sometimes create the things. I mean, why do you think the Flux ecosystem is so large? Is the majority of shit we had to recreate because it didn't work the way we wanted it to work. So good point. Thanks for sharing. Definitely on our roadmap to take a look at that as well. Appreciate it. Can we expect enterprise or government partnerships soon that drive adoption? Yeah, we've been saying this for a while. I mean, NDAs are hard because you can't tell people who you're working with till they're ready. Sometimes that can take a while. That can take a
Yeah.
while. Let me tell you something.
The one that we know is really close now. I think myself and Walter have been working on it for a
Over
year
a
now.
year. Over a year. It's over a year.
Yeah. And so
Yeah.
that goes from the technology pieces to it, arcane, compliancy pieces,
Audits.
audits. What was it? 24 tabs with about 20 questions on average that I had to go through. Took me the better of 2 months to get that all sorted. And then that was not just those questions, and then the questions that came because of certain answers that we gave. So yeah, we've been working on this for a while, and I'm like everybody else. I would like to see people just dive in and deploy. With businesses, there's you have to make a decision, right? It's a business decision. Do we put everything on Flux? Do we stay where we are? Why would we move over? It's a lot of back and forth with a lot of companies. We're close. We're just.
We've
Then I don't know
already.
if you can say if you're going somewhere soon, maybe about that.
No, I'm not just going to keep that on the DL.
No, I know
I don't want to
you
get
know.
yelled at for an NDA again.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So yes, we've already partnered with the UK government. We definitely have had talks with the US government as well for certain. And matter of fact, there's a couple US government entities that have tested things on Flux. By the way, if you pay close enough attention, you can find these things. The only way I know how to pay attention is they tell me where it's at.
To be fair, like some of the companies that we've been testing with, we use you wouldn't recognize them. So the public ledger, right? So we use synonyms and all that fun stuff. So,
yeah, we tend to hide shit. The customers who deploy and don't want to be known. All right, let's see. What else we got? Flux is strong, but what's the marketing push to scale adoption beyond community? Guys, look, everybody thinks marketing is a silver bullet. Like you're just going to, we have spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on marketing. I've been in multiple Forbes publications. I've been on television multiple times. Our marketing team is hands down one of the best marketing teams out there. We've worked for the past 3 months with SEO optimization. We've worked with, brand unification. These are all parts that the marketing team has to do so that when the time is right and the synergy hits, then you have those pieces in play. So I'll use this example to everybody. If you've been in crypto long enough to know, let's go back to bull markets. Every time the market would move, the exchanges would go down. Boom. They couldn't handle the influx, no pun intended. There were components that they had to work on for the next several years. And by the way, I still don't trust their asses. But they had to lay that foundational groundwork. And it's like everything. You have to have all these components, I's dotted, T's crossed. And marketing brings those pieces together. So it's not simply just, hey, we're going to do marketing. Marketing is very intensive. There's multiple places. And what I'll do as well is I'll bring Shannon and Betty on for an AMA, and you guys can ask them the questions about marketing. They would absolutely love to share their statistics because they're out of this world. Problem is this: is we're in a weird cycle right now. There's a lot of capital sitting on the sidelines waiting for regulatory clarity, which are starting to get in the U.S. We're Influx, the parent company, is in the process of moving back to the States. So if you've been here long enough to know, we were in the States, then we went to Switzerland, we left Switzerland, we went to the UK, and now we're going to repatriate to the US. We're finally to the point where I feel comfortable, where everybody feels comfortable, where we can really start to make some headwinds here in the States. So I think you'll see a very large influx of investors come online very quickly. And I can tell you this, man, like it sucks that I can't sit here and tell you everybody that I talk to, but the biggest players in the space are very well aware of Flux. Our brand recognition is strong. There is not one live stream or AMA that I jump on that people don't know who Flux is. So our marketing team has been doing their job. There's only so much you can do with guerrilla marketing. And then you start getting into paid marketing, which we do as well. We definitely do paid marketing. Bottom line is we have to be good stewards of our resources. So doing marketing in a down cycle, because essentially we're still in a down cycle, right? We're not in that up season yet. It's like pissing in the wind. You can do it, but you're just going to waste your money doing it, and you're going to waste your resources. So what you do is prepare.
It's also a very sad thing to do, marketing, right? Because you can get a lot of marketing done, and we get the attraction of customers or potential customers, and then the sales team and the guys go and start talking with them, and it's not like it's an instant transition, right? Like it's not like now they're going to move over. Like especially if you have companies that have been using Amazon, Azure, and all these bigger companies, it's a lot of convincing. It's a lot of explaining. It's a lot of, okay, these are the technologies that we're using. This is how we do the SLAs, et cetera, et cetera. So you have to keep that in the back of your mind. One thing, guys, if you are putting comments in, please use English. Otherwise, I'll just delete them. So you guys know.
Okay, so next question. I'll let you take this one, David.
Is there a plan about when the old Raspberry 4 Cumulus nodes will migrate to ArcaneOS? Currently, we're not really looking at the ARM piece just yet because we want to make sure the majority is good to go. I will have to talk with the guys if we ever go that route. You get a Stratus reward. That's kind of funny.
Not cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. But at the moment, it's not on the quick to do. There's a lot of other things that need to happen first. So the Raspberry Pis, as is, will keep working for now. We've always excluded them for the Arcane piece, so you're not in any danger there. I think there was another one. He had a follow up. Yeah, I'm not aware what a Chewy Euro box is personally. So if that is using ARM technology, that might not work for Arcane just yet, but you'll be fine with the regular Cumulus nodes. So just so you know.
So now you're proof of stake, not proof of use work technically.
No, it's not a proof of stake.
It's not proof of stake. Proof of stake is they mint the assets at the beginning. They do a general distribution. They have an economic model that they create. They have VC investors. We're nothing fucking like proof of stake. So
and proof of stake also works with limited amounts of flux or whatever their coin at that point is. For us, you have to have certain regulations that you have to follow within the blockchain to make it work. So there's a lot more to it than that. So it's definitely not a proof of stake as you think it is.
All right. We'll hide this one, get rid of it. Next one. What have been some of the biggest challenges in developing the Flux network, and how did you overcome them? Fucking everything.
That was this year.
Fucking everything. Everything, dude. Everything. It's been everything. I would say the most is that just because it's been created in Web 2 doesn't mean it'll seamlessly transfer over to Web 3. So we've had to build hybrid models and then start to move them into decentralized models, just like the gentleman mentioned earlier about the benchmarkings. Those are pieces where, we're working on it in the backside because you really have to there's the kitty. Is that a main? Oh, is that a Ouija?
No, he's a mixture of whatever and everything.
That looks exactly like my cat. My cat's a Norwegian forest cat, I think they call them.
Yeah.
Those things get big. It's almost like having a damn
dog
cougar living with you. And they are like dogs. My cat hates me though. So she hates me, but she loves me. I don't get it. So there's been a lot of challenges. Mostly the challenges come from the technology not existing yet. So, I mean, the resistance that you get from folks when you're telling them about improving their products or how they can traverse. Education is a big piece. So not only educating end users, which is all the time, but educating investors and enterprise systems, because they don't necessarily, just because they're in Web 2 infrastructure, doesn't necessarily mean that they even understand that the internet's changing. So I've had conversations with people in the CIO level, the CEO level, where they have no freaking clue what's Web3 and DePIN and why is it changing the game. But once they see it and once they understand it, it's a different ball game. They understand that this is the way technology is going to go, and definitely education is a big piece of it.
Dan talks about the C-suite level. I have to talk with the levels and the right below it, the security teams, the managers, the infrastructure teams. There's a lot to it at that point as well. There's a lot of questions that need to answer. Like I said, I had like 20 spreadsheets. 20 spreadsheets with about 20 questions on average. So just do the math. Like that was just for a security thing. So there's a lot that we have to do to kind of prove our usage and prove our resilience and our robustness. There's a lot to it, and that was one of the challenges that we faced. So that was not even technology at that point. That was pure paperwork and showcasing and testing. And yeah, it's not a we have just to prove our technology to the folks, and so far we've been able to do that. So stay tuned. That's all I can say without disclosing anything.
I was worried about you there. I was trying to make sure you were bringing it back.
Are you going to try and stop me now from leaking? That's
I know. Any updates on the Flux token utilities, the subscription staking cross DePIN integrations? Well, we have
always.
We're always working on that. So the subscription base, which is going to be, what is that? The Flux Pro version. We're working on that probably within the next quarter. That'll reduce all of your fees across the board if you're subbing to that, including the Fusion X fees and by popular demand Fusion fees, claiming small amounts of parallel assets. So you'll be able to do that and basically have it included with your subscription model. We take utility to an entirely different level. So the first question, and Davey will testify to this, is when we start talking new products or anything, how do we make it decentralized? How do we make it secure? How does this fit into our ecosystem seamlessly? So, I feel we're doing pretty good. And if you look at the popularity of assets on any of our PAs, Flux is always in the top 5. It's weird seeing like top 10 Solana net tokens and Flux is sitting there in 5th spot, and it's not even our main chain. So that should tell you something. I think we've traversed to a different level. We will be adding additional PAs post-fork. So, that's one question that comes up a lot is, are we going to continue our PAs? And yes, we will. And the next question is, are they incentivize PAs? And we are working on something that will incentivize those PAs, and it could be really awesome in the end. So, give us a little time to keep working on that. But yeah, we are 100% token, our utility-based asset.
One of the things that to this not
a token,
a coin. I will refuse being called a token. But one of the other things that we do regarding subscriptions and such is we're always looking at how we can make the products easier to utilize, and that goes with payments as well, and how we tackle that. The prepayments we do, and after payments with more enterprise type of customers, and depending on their usage of how much they deployed on the network, and then we'll charge them afterwards. There's things like different types of subscriptions for education pieces that we're working out on. So there's a lot of things that we're doing that we can to help out. Good question.
DePIN says buyback team. So I'm assuming they mean a team buyback of the asset. No, we're not about market manipulation. Everybody that's on the Flux team has their own investment thesis and philosophy. If they're buying your token back at a cheaper price, and all they're doing is manipulating the market, which we do not do. And by the way, we would like to not go to jail, and that is market manipulation. So we follow regulatory rules in every way we can. So we're not going to go out there and and inflate the prices and work with market makers to push volume and all this other shit. Guys, factually, that's just not how product lives long term. Yes, it'll boost your price for a while, but at what cost? We've seen projects that have done the exact same thing and they floated off into oblivion. So we take great pride in the people that invest in our platform. They are business partners, and we would never in a million years manipulate their market that they're the ones that are contributing to. That's fucked up. And if you're invested in a project that says they are doing that, if they're doing artificial manipulation to your price, that's the project you don't want to mess with because you're the product. Speculatory people are the product. So the answer to that is fuck no.
Yeah, buybacks is a bad move.
Members are asking, will Titan staking be added directly to the Zelcore wallet? Yes, it will be. So as you guys are aware, we talked about it. The Titan name is going to change. It's going to be called Cirrus. So that's a new kind of node tier. So we'll have, the 3 main tiers plus the Cirrus, which is on-chain staking for anybody in the community with 40,000 Flux or less. Those numbers might eventually be tweaked. We don't know yet. We have a couple partnerships we're fleshing out right now. We may raise that and allow people to literally host their Stratus nodes there as well. So, you control the keys, you control everything. It's the way that it should be. So yes, there will definitely be the option to stake or, participate in a Cirrus node directly out of Zelcore.
Ooh, we can gossip here, Dan. Let's gossip.
Can you talk about Donovan Laser, Vice President of Sales of Flux AI? What's he doing? Sales. Sales. Yeah. So we have two
He's
sales
the
guys.
He's cleaning my basement at the moment as the VP of Flux. Of course, he's doing sales.
Yeah, we Influx, the company made a very strategic choice to hire two just really rock solid sales folks to help us get our package up our presentation to enterprises, and they're doing exactly that. So those will be the folks. Patrick and Donovan will be the one that are going to be landing contracts that will definitely affect Flux overall. It's a cascade motion. So if we're deploying it out of Influx or through Edge or on any of our product suites, Flux AI, it's going to affect us overall because we're the ones running the infrastructure, which is awesome. So
I was with Donovan and Patrick because can't forget Patrick here, but the guys I was with them on a meeting yesterday morning, and they asked different questions as sales guys. They do a good job. I'm not a pure sales guy myself. Seeing those guys at work, it's always fun to see the way they approach customers and the way they get that interest going from a customer stand. So they're doing a good job.
Yeah, dude, it's like this. I suck at sales. I don't know if you guys knew this. I'm a very transparent person, not necessarily geared for putting. I'm the kind of guy they dust off every now and again to bring in and sit in front of a board to give the grand overall experience of what Flux is. I am not the guy that does the sales. So having two very skilled salespeople on our team is an absolute grand slam. A big shout out to Davey. He helped us get here. We have a little news that Davey, you might want to share in a bit. But the bottom line is we're super aggressive with the way we're moving with this. These guys are, I wouldn't say they're cutthroat, but they're normal sales guys.
Let's just say they can sell a pen. If you understand the reference, you know what I'm saying. They can sell a pen.
So the next one is why did Flux join Thermite to launch Heat? Is Heat meant to complement Flux's ecosystem, or could it create overlap competition with Flux? Nope. No overlap, because we're not a mineable asset anymore. And what we're trying to do is allow people to mine an asset that's ASIC resistance. It's using the old Flux proof of work. So what is it? Flux hash. which existed for the better part of 8 years with no ASICs, so they're complete ASIC resistance. Again, this is a way that people can capitalize on mining and be incentivized. So you can mine heat and provide heat on the Therm AI network. You can be incentivized by mining the asset. You can be incentivized by the Flux block reward. And by the way, a portion of the heat reward goes to basically create treasury management that will be deploying Flux nodes. So yes, it is a synergistic opportunity. I'm saying do your research. We are helping build the product, but it's not a product that we own per se. It's owned by no one, which is kind of nice as well. So Thermi has if you haven't checked out what they're doing, pretty amazing. Basically using excess heat to heat your house, heat your hot water, you name it. And then you'll be able to participate in AI. You'll be able to participate in mining. You'll be able to, it's basically creating, and they have had several MVP mockups that I've seen of the unit. Pretty much plug and play. Like you drop it in and it augmentates your heating system. It just, I did this years ago. I actually was mining, I want to say Zcash maybe, or Ethereum. I don't remember which one it was, but I had like 5 or 6 rigs, and I covered the rigs with a box, right? Big box, and it had venting that goes out to my house. Well, I'd cook us out. So we actually had shutoffs that I could shut it off because it was too much heat. So
yeah, I got one mining rig downstairs who does the same thing. So in the summer, I turn it off, but in winter,
I never heat my garage.
Reheat.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I heat my garage. It actually pays for me to heat my garage. So it's like a byproduct that now is a project. So I love it. And this will be the first of many you see doing something like this. Proof of use work isn't just what Flux is doing. It's what other projects need to build their project on, because it gives the people that are investing in mining other opportunities for revenue generation. So this is what it will look like moving forward in mining. Changes are here, people. When is the first enterprise launch scheduled for Flux? Well, we have enterprises running today. There's several players out in the space who have already launched on Flux or utilizing Flux. So if you're asking when's the large enterprise launching,
yeah.
What is that question? Is he asking?
Yeah, he's basically asking when we're gonna basically announce like a really large enterprise company on Flux is basically what he's hoping to get out of that. Can't disclose that just yet. We're hoping soon. Let's say keep it at that.
Yeah.
All the questions have been answered. All the T's have been crossed. I's have been dotted. It's just a matter of aligning on timelines and such.
It says, what do you expect during bear market? We can go to 2017. I don't know what
He's
that
hoping
means.
that we're going to get a bull market like in 2017. I think
yeah, dude, I'm feeling real good about that. I don't give investment advice. I'm not anyone that you want to take investment advice from. I do my own shit, and it works in the end, but it's chaotic at best. But I will tell you this: there's a lot of capital sitting on the sidelines that are going to start entering into the space. So I think the next cycle, it won't look like previous cycles. I actually call it a hyper cycle because it's going to be so quick and so fast that you're really not even you're going to know it's happening, but it's going to be an abbreviated time frame, I believe. So most people.
Let's look at Bitcoin and Ethereum, how fast they shot up, and then they plateau. I think it's going to be similar for the alts. It's going to be like a quick shot up and then plateau. I see a question regarding Son of a Tag. The guy can do whatever he wants to do for his viewers. If he gets viewers the way he's bashing projects, and it's not just Flux, he does it for a lot of other projects out there. That's just prerogative, and that's all I have to say about it.
I feel a lot of irony that somebody who literally has done nothing but shill ASIC miners to his community has basically pre-entered projects well ahead, then ran videos on it and dumped his bags. And he's been very transparent about it. I feel like when the washed up crypto YouTubers start talking shit, whether it's talking shit in the good way or talking shit in the bad way, I don't care. I give two shits what that guy says. And honestly, if you're taking advice from him, dude lives in his basement or in his garage. I mean, let's not fall down the old school crypto world where people take advice from somebody that probably wouldn't be fit to balance a checkbook. That's all I'm not
a religious guy, but be careful of false prophets.
Yeah, and I mean, like I had a relationship with Son of Tech, but I had to sever that a long time ago because he very methodically makes these videos to target assets, and he goes after particular projects, and he'll talk shit on them, and then he'll buy whatever asset it is, and then he'll sell it again, and he'll tell you something completely different than what he's doing. And if you don't believe me, just go look at some of his past videos. Facts. So the only thing I got to say to Son of Tech is, dude, I'm praying for you. I hope that life gets better. And I hope that, I don't know, just embrace the new school technology. I mean, the fact that he literally didn't read hardly anything on that white paper and cherry picked what he wanted out of it and construed it in an entirely unlegitimate way. Any respect that I had for the guy is absolutely fucking gone. So enough about that. I was late migrating balance of Zelcore to business overseas and lost it all due to a hack. I guess lesson learned the hard way for me. Migrate to BIP44 ASAP, guys. Don't be like me. I mean, look, if you have good hygiene, if you have like a massively long username and a massively long password you've created, I have no intentions of moving away personally from the legacy setup. I like it. The lesson that I learned is I can't be lazy with it. Brain wallets are nothing new, guys. These have been around since the dawn of crypto. And essentially that's what Zelcore and the username password combination was a brain wallet. So we have to think of it this way. We are moving into a new level of the technology. We're going to be moving into a new level of attention that comes with that as well. So take the time, good hygiene, set your wallet up the way you want. Take a day, schedule some time, and just do that. Move it out of the old into the new, secure your assets, utilize SSP too. SSP is amazing. Yeah, but don't be like GB. And GB, thanks for sharing. I'm with you. I know you're paying, brother.
I'll add one other thing, and think about it as being your own bank, right? And think about how hard is it to get your funds out of a bank sometimes these days. Don't get me started again. But just practice safe things. Like don't use a wallet that you have large sums sitting in. Don't put that on your regular computer on your day-to-day. Don't do that. And it costs $100, $150 to buy a tiny computer. These days, they don't have to cost much, but you can have that completely separated. Either put Linux on it, don't even go with Windows. You can be as secure as you want yourself. But that creates hurdles. And the best way of security, the more hurdles you create, the better. So,
how many rigs and machines do you have on Flux Edge, and what about how many are rented? We can't really give you those details here, but we'll post it up.
Don't even have those details myself.
Yeah, we'll post it up in Discord for you.
We have to go look.
I'm moving forward. After the fork, what is the timeline to enforce ArcaneOS for the enterprise companies on the sidelines? We don't have a timeline. So It's going to be whatever makes sense and how quick the network fills up. October is a month you want to keep an eye on.
Yeah, and I think we're about 4,000 servers at this point on Arcane. So thanks for everybody who's.
Ghosty just put it up there. I think we're close to 50%.
3,600 apparently.
Decentralized cloud computing. Does FusionX have any guarantees in case something goes wrong? Lost funds. We don't actually custody assets ever. You're actually working with the providers who are providing it, and most of those Most of those folks have a process. I've never seen an issue with it. I mean, we've never had any of our partners that I'm aware of that we've had lost assets through transactions. And of course, if you're using the DPIN protocols and the DEXs that we're adding as well, then you really have no problems. Okay, we already did that one.
Mm-hmm.
One last word. Whoever took the step to shift the GPU miners back to Flux was a smart decision. Thank you. They're not going to mine Flux. They're going to be mining other stuff. But what we're trying to do is get all the attention from the miners to move to FluxCore. And if they can move through FluxCore, which is an open source platform where you increase your revenue generation, mining naturally starts to transition. So not mining Flux directly, indirectly they are, which is great. So we have exposure to any project that can be added there.
FluxCore is not open source yet. Just before somebody asks, can I look at the GitHub? It's not open source.
We will be open sourcing both Zelcore and FluxCore here within the next several months. Flux Cloud, WordPress, Flux Runner should be low-hanging fruit for Flux. What is your take on why we are not seeing a stronger onboarding of these clients? Timing. It's timing, guys. We just have to wait for the opportunity. You have to build it. It's the old adage. You build it, they will come. We're already starting to see an uptick in people doing deployments on WordPress. One of our marketing pushes is going to be around that as well.
It helps if the community does things too, just so you know.
Yeah. I mean, be out there, be active. I mean, we have one of the largest communities in crypto. There's no reason why we can't get off our ass and do some posts.
Actually, let me share something. I think love what some of the folks do sometimes. If I can get it up here.
Wait, are you showing the Skunkworks project?
No, not yet.
Well,
not yet.
Pull up those two Skunkworks. We'll show them real quick at the end, just as a teaser.
Well, not really a Skunkworks, but something I did say that we needed. So.
Oh, the calculator. Yeah, the calculator.
Yeah. So the calculator. Something I know somebody created a spreadsheet, and I forget his name now, but again, kudos goes to him first for creating that. It's a new proof of work payment system that's coming. So basically, if you haven't seen this yet, if you have your notes, you can compare your current versus the current mechanism, and then you can compare it to your price. Is that how you pronounce it? Pricey? So you can compare your current rewards versus the new reward system. You can create scenarios. The only thing that's not working yet is the Titan piece, because I'm waiting on the guys if there's any changes happening there on the way the payment system goes there. So and then you can share that. You can create as many scenarios as you want, and then share with your friends. Yeah, fun thing to explore. And then the other one is a focus on some educational pieces. It is close to September, so back to school for a lot of folks out there, or their kids. And for some of the folks in the US and in some countries already in Europe, I know they're already back in school. But this is one of my skunkworks that I've been playing with. So this is something that I envision to basically make it a lot easier for folks to deploy tools that they need in their education piece. So this goes for students, this goes for their educators, this goes to even researchers to certain degrees. But I'm working with a couple of folks to get easier deployments going for Docker containers. I got the idea from my kids. One of my kids was working in class, and one IT guy that the school has, I feel bad for the guy, but he goes in on the computers during class time and starts installing and updating softwares. And so my kid lost all her progress that she had created. So an entire couple months worth of school project gone because of the IT guy. And I basically started learning quickly at that point that a lot of the schools are very strapped when it comes to tools, innovation. And so I thought it would be a good idea to create a way to package up a lot of softwares together. If you guys are curious, I can actually show you what I have in mind. So basically, we create catalogs. Think of it as a library where you have all of these software sitting available, open source products that you can use for a lot of things. CAN boards or RS Studio and Jupyter Lab or Jupyter Notebook, however you want to use. All of these things are out there, and then combine that with some AI. Instead of AI bad, let's make AI good and add some AI agents to the fold. And what you then end up having is basically a classroom, a virtual classroom with all the different products that teachers can follow along and so forth. Like I got some ideas, and I'm working with a couple other folks on some ideas that we're brainstorming. But this is something that I threw together internally first. And
Skunkworks is working on a lot of cool shit, people. That Skunkworks is, we don't even really talk about the Skunkworks projects much. You know, we'll tease them here and there, but there's a lot of development that's going on behind the scenes that people don't even get to see because we want to make sure they're viable. This is a very viable product, and as a matter of fact, it's a very easy sell to universities who are looking to reduce their actual infrastructure footprint. So excellent work on that. Davey has put together a few things we're working on with Skunkworks, and Davey has been helping me with those. And as a matter of fact, I think we have some news to share about Davey.
Right.
Davey has accepted, I don't know if begrudgingly is the word, he will be taking on the position as the new director of the Flux Foundation. So Davey will be my counterpart on the foundation, which means he's going to put lots of emphasis around building out our foundational infrastructure. We established that foundation last year in Texas. Davey's going to be taking the helm of that and helping navigate that as the foundation grows. So big congratulations to Davey. Very excited for what that means to the community. That will also bring lots of attention because now we not only have one project that's working on marketing and PR and development, we'll have two in the foundation. And Influx proper has there'll be no board seats held by anybody on the original team. So myself, Tadeusz, Walter, Jeremy, we will be completely separate from the foundation. Davey will have that leadership team that he builds himself. We'll need 5 board members if you're interested and you have the business knowledge. So we're looking for somebody in legal, somebody in business, somebody in ops to fill in those board seats to help get that going over there. So if you're interested, reach out to Davey. Congratulations, Davey, and we're excited to see this thing grow in the future. All right, 5 more questions is what we got. We'll do them real quick.
Yeah, we were going to do an hour. We're already 20 minutes over.
Frank, we answered that earlier, but no, we have no date.
Yep.
Is the Miami office open? If not, is there an anticipated time frame for this? It is open. Right now we're a complete remote team. So some of the new hires that we'll be targeting will probably be in the Miami area. Why did we pick Miami? Well, it's kind of the crypto capital of the world right now. There are other places that claim to be that, but they're very enticing with some of the pieces that they have laid out. And there's a lot of big players in the space. Matter of fact, the building we're in, we've got lots of players in that space. I don't know what they are off the top of my head because I forget, but I saw it when I was looking through their list. We're gonna put a lot of emphasis around the U.S. here moving forward. Yes, we're global. Yes, we have to worry about the whole world, but we feel like the U.S. has synergies going right now where this is the place to be and where to kind of plant our roots. So that's what we're looking at. Yes, it is open.
All right.
Can you talk about, we already talked about Donovan.
Yeah, we already did the gossiping.
Is Flux going to be listed on any new exchanges soon? Don't know, don't care.
I do.
I don't.
Well, there's a nice one coming.
There's another. Fuck, Coinbase, they'll list us when they want to list us. I would say we probably haven't made friends with Coinbase because we've been one of the vocal ones to really challenge them about listing proof of work projects. So I don't know. I don't know if we'll ever get listed there. They surprise you. And, when we hit our stride, I don't think there's any choice but to list us. But we've got Binance, Kraken, we've got enough exchanges to choke a horse. So,
and there's a big one coming in Europe too, right?
Yeah, we have a big one coming in Europe. I don't know. Oh, yeah, that one's a real big one. We can't leak that one yet, though. That's one that's beyond an exchange. We'll leave it at that. So one that we're pretty impressed with. But we don't put a lot of emphasis in exchanges at this point. You know what I mean? Like the old days of the exchange listing number go up 10x or over, people. Those days are long gone. You can buy Flux on Kraken, crypto.com, Binance US. I mean, there's plenty of exchanges you can get Flux on.
If you still have access, Qcoin, what else? Coin Metro. There's so many.
Personally, I think the biggest listing we got was Kraken. Kraken, I believe, is going to challenge Coinbase for their crown. I believe that the shit that they're doing and how fast they're doing it and iterating so quick, I think Kraken's going to be where it's at. That's going to be the exchange you want to be on. So,
and now that's tainted with all the meme coins.
I know, right? Well, yeah. We got one more. Seems loads of cool stuff coming. With that said, I recently logged into my Zelcore app, and it tells me user password is deprecated. I need to migrate out of Zelcore, so Zelcore dead. No, it's deprecated because we're not going to be supporting it moving forward. It'll still be there, a viable way to log in. It's not recommended. So move over to the BIP44 in Zelcore. Everything's right with the world. Again, the asterisk behind that is if you practice good hygiene and you're using a username and password that's not used anywhere else and it's got lots of complexity, you're fine. The problem is we have people that are continuing to use username and passwords that they use for other products and a combination therein. So maybe the password is the same, maybe the username is the same. And then what happens is as these people purchase these lists, they just go through and run that till they finally get your private key and then they're in. So, the majority of the ones I've seen hacked are all come down to piss poor, keyloggers, breaches on
reuse.
We've seen people that imported their seed phrase from other wallets. That other wallet is compromised. Now they have their seed phrase. That happened with one of the Solana wallets. It's just bottom line is if you got to know what you're doing to use, a brain wallet username password combo. So for better protection, BIP44 or SSP. That's where it's at. Zelcore, BIP44 or SSP.
Just something that I recommend everybody do. There's a lot of companies out there that do identity checks. I recommend all of you to at one point look into that. Just so that like there's a lot of leaks happening, and not all of them are announced and to the world, right? Canada just had WestJet have a massive data leak, barely on the news. Passports, your Visa cards or MasterCard, whatever credit card you used, all of it has been leaked. So if you don't have something in place that checks your identity, please do so. It's just something I recommend everybody do.
And Zelcore is going nowhere. Fully electric. I love Zelcore too. It's my hot wallet. I use it every freaking day. It's going to get much better, as a matter of fact. It's going to continue to keep morphing and turning into something that's even more amazing than it is now. So just hang tight. We've got good things coming for Zelcore. It's not going anywhere. We're just trying to get our users to practice safe hygiene. The username password combination was a great idea at the beginning. Unfortunately, not everybody has good hygiene manners, and especially if you get a keylogger on your computer and you put your new username and password in your D2FA, none of it matters anywhere. They have it all. So you have to be secure with what you're doing. I highly recommend having one computer that you do not use for anything. Air gap that bitch. Make it for your wallets and your wallets only. Make your username and password if you're going to stick with legacy. Do your BIP44 if you're not. SSP is a great opportunity to launch that while you're doing your moves. If you're running nodes, SSP is where it's at. I love it for the nodes. It took me a long time to move over, and I'm so glad I did. Super easy to use. So check it out, and make sure you're maintaining the integrity of your assets, because that is up to you. This is not. You can yell at us as loud as you want about compromises. Bottom line is, the only way to compromise your wallet is to have your username and password. So we don't store data, we don't keep data, we don't harvest data, we don't monetize data. It is absolutely your job to fucking make sure your shit is safe. And if you don't, I don't want to fucking hear it, because we continue to keep. It's the same way with me. And when I got my little bit of Flux taken, didn't bawl about it. I licked my wounds. I said shit. It took 8 years, but they finally got it. And it came down to me just being a dumbass, So if I can be in that position, and I didn't really care about that wallet, my other stuff is all SSP and so on and so forth. But what it does tell you, I had a simple username and a simple password, and it took 8 years to get to it, but they got to it. So if your username and password are compromised in another breach, just like Davey was alluding to, these breaches are every day. They're not publicized, but they're there every day. Then it's time to move over to BIP44 and SSP. So, all right, guys and gals, thank you for joining us today. Thank you for the AMA. If we didn't get your questions, I apologize. Let me just double check, make sure there's nobody else. Yeah. Okay, good. We're good. If anybody has questions that they missed or anything like that, we had an amazing turnout on X today. So well done with that. I think we broke our records for concurrent viewers. So awesome work there, guys. And I appreciate all of you. I appreciate your input. I appreciate this community more than you know. It's been a rough couple months on me. And the people that have stepped up and been behind us and, helped us get to this point, I thank each and every one of you. So thank you. Davey, play us out.
Yeah.
JP.
Oh, yeah. Let me tell you a story. I'm on a Nimbus. I'm in the Stratus. Come check my status. What the flex is going on? I'm on the Nimbus. I'm in the Stratus. Come check my status. What the flex is going on? I'm on the Nimbus. I'm in the Stratus. Come check my status. What the flex is going on? I am fluxing on them now. I'm fluxing on them proud. I'm fluxing on them now. I'm fluxing on them proud. I'm in the Nimbus. Come check my status. What's my status? What the f is going on? I'm in the Nimbus. Come check my status. What's my status? What's your status? I'm flexing on them now. 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 I'm flexing on them proud. What the flex is this? We going to the moon. Can I tell you something? Layer 1, layer 2, this is humongous. Decentralized, so we keep it 100. 10,000 nodes, yeah, we building an army. Flex on them now like it don't mean that. We an army and we strong. I'm on the Nimbus. I'm in the Stratus. Come check my status. Come check my status. What the flex is going on? What the flex is going on? But the flex we go so strong. We an army and we strong.